Identifying outlets suitable for aluminum wiring involves understanding the markings and construction of the devices. Levison outlets manufactured after 1972 are generally marked with either CU/AL or CO/AL on the back, indicating their suitability for both copper and aluminum wiring. However, if the outlets are from the 1970s, they might not have these explicit markings. In such cases, a physical inspection of the screw terminals is necessary to determine if the outlet is rated for aluminum wiring. Look at the screw terminals. If the terminals are plain aluminum in color, it may indicate a CO/AL rating. If the terminals are coated with a corrosion-resistant aluminum alloy known as copalum, this is an indication of a CU/AL rating. Outlets manufactured in the 1970s and rated for aluminum wiring often had specific labels. Some common labels include aluminum only for use with aluminum wiring only and approved for aluminum wire. If these labels are present on the back of the outlet, it's a strong indication that the outlet is rated for aluminum wiring. Aluminum wiring requires specific considerations due to its properties. Aluminum expands and contracts more than copper with temperature changes, which can lead to loose connections over time. These loose connections can cause arcing, overheating, and potentially electrical fires. Firstly, ensure the proper wire gauge is used. Aluminum wiring requires a larger gauge than copper for the same ampacity. This is because aluminum has a higher resistance than copper. Refer to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, Table 310.15b16 for ampacity ratings and appropriate wire sizes. Secondly, use antioxidant compounds. Apply an antioxidant joint compound to the aluminum wires before making connections. This compound helps prevent oxidation, which can increase resistance and lead to overheating. Thirdly, use proper connectors and devices. Use outlets, switches, and connectors specifically listed and labeled for use with aluminum wiring, such as those marked CU/AL or CO/AL. These devices are designed to provide a secure and reliable connection with aluminum wire. Fourthly, consider pigtailing. Pigtailing involves connecting a short length of copper wire to the aluminum wire using a specialized connector and then connecting the copper pigtail to the outlet or switch. This method creates a copper-to-copper connection at the device, reducing the risk of issues associated with direct aluminum connections. Fifthly, regularly inspect connections. Periodically inspect all connections involving aluminum wiring for signs of looseness, corrosion, or overheating. Look for discoloration, melted insulation, or the smell of burning plastic. If any issues are found, address them promptly. Sixthly, use Torx screwdrivers. When tightening connections, use a Torx screwdriver to ensure that screws are tightened to the manufacturer's specified torque. Over-tightening can damage the wire or connector, while under-tightening can lead to loose connections. Seventhly, avoid mixing metals directly. Avoid direct contact between aluminum and other dissimilar metals, such as steel, as this can lead to galvanic corrosion. Use compatible connectors and fittings to prevent this issue. Eighthly, consult with a qualified electrician. If there is any uncertainty about working with aluminum wiring or if any issues are detected, consult with a qualified electrician experienced in aluminum wiring repairs and upgrades. They can provide expert advice and ensure that all work is performed safely and in accordance with the electrical codes. Common problems associated with aluminum wiring are overheating connections, loose terminals, and corrosion. Overheating connections occur because aluminum expands and contracts more than copper with temperature changes. This can cause connections to loosen over time, leading to increased resistance, heat generation, and potential fire hazards. Loose terminals are a result of the expansion and contraction of aluminum, causing screws and connectors to loosen. This can disrupt the electrical circuit and create a dangerous situation. Corrosion occurs when aluminum is exposed to moisture and air. It can corrode, increasing resistance and reducing the effectiveness of the connection. To mitigate these problems, proper installation techniques, regular inspections, and the use of appropriate materials are essential. Regular maintenance and inspections are crucial for ensuring the long-term safety and reliability of aluminum wiring. It is important to periodically inspect all connections for signs of looseness, corrosion, or overheating. Use thermal imaging to identify hotspots, which can indicate potential problems. Retighten screws and connectors as needed, using a Torx screwdriver to ensure proper tightness. Clean any corroded connections and apply antioxidant joint compound to prevent further corrosion. Document all inspections and maintenance activities for future reference. If the home inspection has raised concerns about the outlets, it is best to seek professional help to ensure safety and compliance with regulations. A qualified electrician can assess the condition of the wiring and outlets, identify any potential hazards, and recommend appropriate solutions. It can also perform necessary repairs, upgrades, or replacements to ensure the electrical system is safe and reliable. If the outlets are found to be incompatible with aluminum wiring, the electrician can replace them with Cu/Al or Co/Al rated outlets or install copper pigtails. They can also assess the overall condition of the aluminum wiring and recommend any necessary repairs or upgrades to address potential safety concerns. Aluminum wiring was commonly installed in homes during the 1960s and 1970s due to the rising cost of copper. However, due to its properties, aluminum wiring has been associated with several safety concerns. It is important to understand these concerns and take appropriate measures to mitigate the risks. Aluminum expands and contracts more than copper with temperature changes, which can lead to loose connections over time. Aluminum also has a higher resistance than copper, which means it can carry less current for the same wire gauge. Aluminum is more prone to oxidation, which can increase resistance and lead to overheating. If the home has aluminum wiring, there are several options to address the potential safety concerns. The first option is complete replacement. Replacing all of the aluminum wiring with copper wiring is the most comprehensive solution. This eliminates the risks associated with aluminum wiring and provides a safer and more reliable electrical system. However, it can be a costly and disruptive option. The second option is copper pigtailing. This involves connecting a short length of copper wire to the aluminum wire using a specialized connector and then connecting the copper pigtail to the outlet or switch. This method creates a copper-to-copper connection at the device, reducing the risk of issues associated with direct aluminum connections. The third option is complete rewire. Completely rewiring the house with copper wiring is the most thorough solution, but it is also the most expensive and disruptive. Copper pigtailing is a more cost-effective option, but it requires specialized connectors and careful installation. Replacing devices with Cu/Al or Co/Al rated outlets is a less expensive option, but it may not address all of the potential issues with aluminum wiring. Aluminum wiring poses potential fire hazards if not properly installed and maintained. Loose connections, corrosion, and overheating can all lead to electrical fires. It is important to take precautions to prevent these hazards. Ensure that all connections are properly tightened and protected against corrosion. Regularly inspect the wiring for signs of damage or overheating. Install arc fault circuit interrupters or of size to provide additional protection against electrical fires. Consider having a professional electrical inspection performed to identify any potential safety concerns. Addressing aluminum wiring issues can significantly improve the safety and value of your home. By mitigating the risks associated with aluminum wiring, you can protect your family and property from electrical hazards. Upgrading the electrical system can also increase the value of your home and make it more attractive to potential buyers. If considering selling the home, addressing aluminum wiring issues can help to avoid potential problems during the home inspection process. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous and should only be performed by qualified professionals. If there are any concerns or unsure about any aspect of the electrical system, consult with a licensed electrician for assistance. They can provide expert advice and ensure that all work is performed safely and in accordance with electrical codes. If you are uncertain about the outlets in your home, consulting with a licensed electrician is highly recommended. They can inspect the outlets, confirm their aluminum rating, and determine if any updates or replacements are necessary. This is especially important for the safety of your home and to avoid potential electrical hazards associated with aluminum wiring.